Hello, Assalamualaikum, good morning class. So for today's lesson, I will go through a brief introduction on Bernoulli's principle. So what is Bernoulli's principle? Basically, the principle got its name from Daniel Bernoulli, which is a very famous mathematician. Daniel asked a very important question: what is the relationship between speed and pressure? And so he came up with this principle that answered, within a horizontal flow of fluid, points of higher fluid speed will have lower pressure than points of slower fluid speed. And with that, I will give you a brief example on aeroplanes. Okay, so one of our biggest mysteries during childhood was what makes an aeroplane fly? What makes such huge device able to float across the sky? Well, the very simple answer to that is through lift. What is lift? Well, lift is a product that occurs when there's a difference in velocity. As you can see from this diagram, the velocity v1 and v2 is very different. The velocity at v1 is higher than the velocity at v2, and hence this difference in velocity will then result in a difference in pressure. The pressure at v2 will be higher than the pressure at v1, and so this will create a lift, and hence the aeroplane is lifted and is able to float around across the sky and is able to fly beyond the ocean. And I assure you that there are many more applications in Bernoulli in our daily life. However, I would like to leave that as your homework for this week. And so please make a short video on any experiment that you find about Bernoulli and do submit it at the end of this week by my email, NAZURAH@gmail.com. So I guess that's it for today's class. See you next time, and I hope you have a good day.
Well, we got a new homework from Teacher NAZURAH. So I think I'm going to do the Toricelli experiment because it is super easy and simple to do. So let's do it together. So for this experiment, we need to prepare a jar of colored water, ruler, empty bottle, marker pen, safety pin, and also tray. So this is the hole. We're going to close or cover the hole first, and then the ruler is placed here so that we can see how far the water is dispensed according to the specific height. Okay, so first we're going to start with 14 cm as per the height, and we will see how far the water will be dispensed. Alright. From the experiment, we can see that Toricelli's theorem gives the relation between the speed, which is v, of a water flowing under the force of gravity, and the vertical distance h without being influenced by the direction of flow. This relation can be seen through the equation of v equal to square root of 2gh. It shows that Toricelli obeys the Bernoulli's principle, as Bernoulli states that a fluid speed is inversely proportional to its pressure and potential energy. The relationship arises from an exchange of potential energy at the top of the reservoir to kinetic energy at the exit. Doing the experiment made me feel so tired. Aha, I should watch television to get more ideas about Bernoulli.
Assalamualaikum and hi! Welcome back to Visit with Hanum. So today we will talk about the applications of Bernoulli in blood flow and baseball. For your information, blood will flow up to the brain at the back of the head via the two vertebral arteries, and then the blood flow will meet at the basilar arteries. Two vertebral arteries also connected with the two subclavian arteries, which is before the blood flows to each of human's arm. Okay, when we use our arms actively, the blood flow will increase since it needs to fulfill the needs of arms muscle. So if there's some block in the subclavian artery, or we can call it as arteriosclerosis, it will increase the velocity of the blood flow. The increased blood velocity past the opening to the vertebral arteries results in lower pressure. So the blood from the other side of the vertebral arteries will move to the side of the vertebral arteries that have lower pressure instead of moving upward to the brain. So it causes the blood supply to the brain reduce. Okay, now let's move on to the next applications of Bernoulli, which is baseball. Okay, 1, 2, 3. When the baseball moves in the air, the thin layer of air will drag around the ball, or known as boundary layer. As you can see on the diagram, At point A, the boundary layer tends to slow down the oncoming air. Then at point B, the air rotating with the balls at its speed. So as we know, in the principle of Bernoulli, the higher the velocity, the lower the pressure. So the area at B have lower pressure than the area at A, cause the net force toward B. So the ball will move in the B direction. So that's all from Physics with Hanum today. See you again!